All right, buckle up, folks, because today we're diving deep into something pretty incredible. We're talking Voyager 1. You know, the spacecraft, the one that's the farthest, thing humans have ever sent out.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. It's been out there for over 45 years.
45 years, still going. And get this, it's not just hanging around the planets anymore. This thing is way past Pluto, out in interstellar space.
Yeah, interstellar space. It's
Yeah.
like the final frontier.
Right.
And what's wild is that Voyager 1 went from this mission to check out the outer planets to this, cosmic message in a bottle.
Wait, what? What do you mean message in a bottle?
Carrying that golden record. You know, the one with all the sounds and pictures from Earth. Just in case, some alien civilization happens to stumble upon it.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. But before we get to aliens jamming out a Chuck Berry, let's rewind. Back in the 70s, why did NASA even decide to launch this thing in the first place?
Well, back then, the outer planets were basically giant question marks, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. We knew they existed, but we didn't really know much about them.
So Voyager 1 was kind of like our first real look.
Exactly. And they got really lucky with the timing, too. Voyager 1 and its twin, Voyager 2, they launched during this super rare planetary alignment.
Hold on, rare alignment. What does that even mean?
It's this thing where the planets are all positioned in a way that makes it easier to get to them, like a shortcut through the solar system. And it only happens every 176 years.
Wow, talk about good timing. But still, how do you even get a spacecraft that far out in the first place?
Yeah, it's not like they just strapped a giant rocket onto Voyager and blasted it off. It's way more clever than that.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
They use something called gravity assists.
Gravity assists.
Basically, they use a planet's gravity to give the spacecraft a speed boost and change its direction.
So like slingshotting it around.
Exactly. It's like a cosmic pinball machine.
I kind of love that. But wait, how do they even figure out the math for that?
It's mind-boggling. But it worked. Just from Jupiter's gravity alone. Voyager 1 got an extra 35,000 kilometers per hour of speed.
Whoa. That's like going from, I don't know, New York to LA in 5 minutes.
Something like that.
So, okay, Speed Demon Voyager 1, check. But what did it actually see at these planets? Was it worth the trip?
Oh, absolutely worth it. At Jupiter, it got some amazing close-ups of the Great Red Spot.
You mean that giant storm that's been raging for centuries?
Yep, that's the one. But even more surprising, it found volcanoes.
Volcanoes? Where?
On Jupiter's moon.
Io?
Wait, what? Volcanoes on a moon?
Yeah. Active volcanoes spewing lava and everything.
Nobody had ever seen that before, right?
No, Voyager 1 was the first. Totally changed our understanding of what moons could be like.
Mind blown. And then on to Saturn. Right, with those iconic rings.
Saturn was another jackpot. The rings were even more complex and beautiful than we imagined. Voyager 1 even found these weird spokes in the ring.
Spokes, like bicycle spokes. Yeah, kinda. We still don't totally understand what they are. And then there's Titan, Saturn's biggest moon. Voyager 1's data suggested it might have liquid hydrocarbons on its surface.
What does that even mean?
Like a whole sea of liquid natural gas.
An alien sea.
Potentially. It's pretty wild.
So Voyager 1 wasn't just snapping pretty pictures, it was sending back data that totally revolutionized our view of the solar system.
It was a game changer, for sure. And here's the thing, Voyager 1 didn't stop there.
Didn't stop. Where else could it go?
It just kept going, farther and farther, until it crossed into interstellar space.
Interstellar space. Okay, now we're getting into Star Trek territory.
Well, not quite.
But what even is interstellar space?
It's the region between the stars, where the sun's influence starts to fade away.
We're talking truly out there in the void.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Voyager 1 was the first human-made object to ever reach it.
So it's like a pioneer venturing into the unknown.
Exactly. And it figured out it had crossed over by measuring changes in the density of plasma. You know, that superheated, electrically charged gas.
Oh, right. So Voyager 1 is this little explorer boldly going where no probe has gone before. But it's not just sightseeing out there, right? It's got that golden record we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah, the golden record.
So what's the story with that?
Well, picture this. A 12-inch gold-plated copper disc filled with all sorts of sounds and pictures from Earth.
Sounds and pictures, like what?
We're talking greetings in 55 different languages. Music from Beethoven, Chuck Berry, you name it. Even whale songs and a baby crying.
Wow, that's quite the mix. Did they really think aliens would find this thing and be like, oh, cool, Earth music?
Honestly, the chances of that happening are super slim. But I think the golden record is more about what it says about us than any potential aliens.
What do you mean?
It's like a time capsule, a snapshot of humanity. It shows our curiosity, our creativity, our desire to connect.
Even across these unimaginable distances.
You-
It's like tossing a message in a bottle into the vast cosmic ocean. And it's been drifting out there for, what, over 40 years? How does this thing even still running?
That's the other incredible part of the story. Voyager 1 is powered by a plutonium-fueled generator.
Plutonium, like nuclear power.
Yep. Pretty cutting edge for the time.
But even nuclear power has its limits, right?
Of course. And that's where the engineers have had to get really creative to keep Voyager 1 alive for this long.
I can't imagine it's easy. Keeping a spacecraft running for almost 50 years, billions of miles away.
It's a testament to human ingenuity, that's for sure. And the story of how they've done it. Well, that's a whole other chapter in Voyager 1's incredible journey.
Okay, I am definitely hooked. We got to hear more about this.
You got it. We'll dive into all that and more after a quick break.
Plutonium power, interstellar space. It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie. But seriously, how have they kept Voyager 1 running for this long, almost 50 years?
Well, part of it is just good design. They built Voyager 1 to last, to withstand the extreme temperatures and the radiation and all that. But the real key is how the mission team has managed the power supply.
So it's not just about tough hardware. It's about smart people on the ground making sure it stays alive.
Exactly. As that plutonium fuel decays, Voyager 1's power output decreases. So the engineers have had to prioritize.
Prioritize how?
They've had to decide which functions are absolutely essential, things like communication and data collection, and then gradually power down the non-essential instruments to save energy.
So it's like a balancing act, trying to get the most out of every watt.
Exactly. And it requires constant monitoring and adjustments. The team's always looking at the data Voyager 1 sends back, watching for any signs of trouble, any power fluctuations, and then they send commands back to the spacecraft, making tweaks to optimize its performance.
Wow, it's like a long-distance relationship. Except it takes over 22 hours for a signal to travel from Voyager 1 to Earth.
That's right. And then another 22 hours for a response to get back. So every decision has to be carefully thought out.
No room for quick fixes.
Nope. But it's amazing what they've been able to achieve. Even with these challenges, Voyager 1 is still sending back valuable data about interstellar space.
I mean, before Voyager 1, we didn't really know anything about interstellar space, right?
It was all just theories and speculation.
Now we're getting first-hand readings.
It's like having a weather station in a completely unexplored region.
So what are we learning?
All sorts of things. About the density and temperature of interstellar gas, the behavior of cosmic rays, even how the sun's influence extends far beyond the planets.
Wow, it's literally expanding our understanding of the universe.
That's the power of exploration, right? Pushing the boundaries of what we know.
Totally. And speaking of pushing boundaries, we talked about how Voyager 1 used gravity assist to get out to interstellar space. But did it have any other close encounters with planets after Saturn?
Well, not close encounters exactly. But it did observe Uranus and Neptune as it flew past their orbits.
From a distance.
Yeah, it couldn't slow down and go into orbit around them. But even those distant observations provided valuable data.
So Voyager 1 was like this cosmic tourist, snapping pics as it flew by. But now that it's in interstellar space, is it just going to keep going forever?
Pretty much. Based on its current trajectory and speed, Voyager 1 will likely travel through interstellar space for billions of years.
Billions of years? That's mind-boggling.
It's probably not going to encounter another star system anytime soon, though.
So it's destined to be a solitary traveler, carrying its message from Earth across the vast cosmic ocean.
It's kind of a beautiful thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But eventually, Voyager 1's power will run out, and it'll go silent.
That's true. But its legacy will live on. The data it's collected, the discoveries it's made, the inspiration it's sparked. All of that will continue to shape our understanding of the universe for generations to come.
Speaking of inspiration, we've touched on how Voyager 1 has really captured people's imaginations. Artists, writers, filmmakers. What are some examples of how it's made its way into popular culture?
Well, one of the most famous examples is from Star Trek, the motion picture.
Star Trek.
Really? Yeah, in the movie, this super advanced alien intelligence turns out to be, wait for it, a Voyager probe.
A Voyager probe? Like our Voyager probe?
Well, not exactly our Voyager probe, but one that had evolved into a sentient being.
So like a thinking, feeling Voyager probe.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's science fiction, but it shows how Voyager 1 has become this symbol of exploration, of pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a celebrity in the world of science.
You could say that.
And it's not just about entertainment, right? Voyager 1's story also makes us think about some bigger questions.
Absolutely. Like, What is humanity's place in the universe? Are we alone? And if not, how do we even begin to communicate with other intelligent beings?
We sent this message in a bottle, the golden record, but what does it really say about us?
It shows our curiosity, our desire to connect, but it also raises questions about responsibility, about the potential risks and rewards of contact with extraterrestrial intelligence.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's a complex issue with no easy answers.
But the fact that we're even having these conversations, it shows how Voyager 1 has impacted our thinking.
It's made us look beyond ourselves, beyond our planet, and consider the bigger picture.
Okay, my brain is officially full.
I know, there's a lot to take in.
But it's fascinating stuff.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to keep these conversations going.
To keep exploring, keep asking questions.
To never lose that sense of wonder about the universe and our place in it.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through the legacy of Voyager 1. Until next time, keep looking up and keep exploring.
Okay, so we've sent this message in a bottle out into the cosmos. But, is anyone even going to hear it?
Well, realistically, the odds are pretty slim.
Slim.
I mean, the universe is massive. Even if there is other intelligent life out there, the chances of them finding our little golden record are, well, astronomical.
So, more of a symbolic gesture then.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Like, hey, universe, we're here. Even if no one's listening. Exactly. It's about our curiosity, our desire to connect. Even if that connection is purely hypothetical at this point.
But what if, by some crazy cosmic coincidence, Voyager 1 does bump into another civilization? What would they think of our message?
Now, that's a fascinating question. Would they even understand it?
Right. Like our music, our languages?
What if it's just noise to them?
Yeah, like static on an old radio.
Exactly.
It'd be like trying to explain the internet to someone who's never seen a computer. You just hope they'd be curious.
I think so.
Not scared or, hostile.
Right. That's the risk you take.
It's like we're putting our best foot forward, but we have no control over how it's received.
Exactly.
Which I guess is true of any exploration, really, whether it's physical, like Voyager, or even just intellectual exploration, new ideas.
There's always that element of risk.
But also the potential for incredible rewards.
Absolutely. And even if the only reward is expanding our own knowledge and understanding.
That's huge.
Exactly. And honestly, while the golden record is a fun thought experiment, I think Voyager 1's biggest impact is really the scientific discoveries it's made.
Oh, totally. I mean, we've learned so much about the outer planets, the heliosphere, interstellar space itself.
All thanks to this little probe that just keeps on going.
Seriously, it's remarkable. It's like it shattered our ideas about the solar system.
And opened our eyes to the vastness and the complexity of the universe.
Yeah, it's humbling. And even though eventually its power will run out and it'll go quiet.
That's true. But the data it's sent back, that'll keep scientists busy for decades.
Oh, for sure. Unraveling the mysteries of the universe.
Trying to piece together a more complete picture of our cosmic neighborhood.
It's incredible.
It really is.
Voyager 1 is proof that we humans can do amazing things when we put our minds to it.
Absolutely. It's a testament to our ingenuity, our drive to explore, to understand.
And its legacy goes beyond just science, too.
Oh, definitely. It's inspired so much art, music, literature. It's touched people all over the world.
Reminding us of the beauty and the wonder of the universe.
And that sense of wonder. That's what keeps us going, keeps us exploring.
Well said. Voyager 1, what a story. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into its legacy. It's been quite a journey.
It has.
And as always, keep looking up and keep exploring.